Welcome to Art again with Mrs. Maher. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you're having fun with art. Now, we've already talked about the elements of art. Do you remember how we defined the elements of art? The building blocks. That's right, the building blocks of art. We can't have art really without lines. Oh, we talked about lines a lot, didn't we? Shapes. We've gone through the geometric shapes. Geometric shapes that we talked about were flat. And we talked about geometric shapes, but we haven't talked yet about biomorphic shapes. Can you say that with me? Biomorphic. Now, bio means life. Morph sort of is like changing. And ick at the end of a word, your suffix, ick, always means pertaining to. So, pertaining to life-changing shapes. We're going to spend our time on biomorphic shapes today. And we're going to discuss a little bit about space. Space is interesting in a piece of art, and it's very important. We're going to move on to color eventually. Yeah, okay, we're getting to it, guys. Geometric and biomorphic shapes. Quick review. What do you know? What do you know about geometric shapes? They can be measured mathematically. Yeah, geometry. I know. They have angles that can be measured. Biomorphic is, or they can be called organic shapes. Their definition: occurs in nature. Occurs in nature. That might be a leaf. Well, I don't know if ghosts really occur in nature, but since we're coming up on Halloween, I'm going to mention a ghost. Geometric or biomorphic shapes, biomorphic shapes have no names. They are not defined by angles. There are no standards. And there are no tools that support the creation of them. Let's move on. Oh, look who came back. That dog. Oh, that sweet dog. Let me see if I can get him up here a little bit closer for you. Oh, those eyes still get me. There we go. All right, now look. That dog, let me get this out of the picture in case it's there, okay. That dog keeps showing up. I wonder why. I think this dog might like you kids. I took the original. You can see I've added some more color here, haven't I? I took this dog and put it on the printer and enlarged it so you could see some more of the detail here. See that eye? That eye is looking at you. Think about how this dog looks to you. Does this dog look threatening at all? I don't think so. You know why I don't think so? The dog's not barking. The dog's not growling. The dog has a soft, almost desiring eye. Doesn't that dog look like it wants something from you? Like a good petting? Oh, maybe a brushing, a walk? Your last bite of a cookie. Yeah. And as you can see in this close-up, the lines are more detailed. Remember, I talked about layering those colors. I used probably 6 different colors in this picture. Now here you can see a little bit lighter how I've started with some of my darks. I've got some dark lines in here. You can see I have a little bit of gray, orange, brown. I'm building up. I'm going to get back here and put in some more reds and other shades. Orange is coming in. Okay. Now remember we talked about contour lines. Contour lines are like an outline in your coloring books. But contour line is not a complete connected line. It's a separate line. And if we can look here in this picture here, there's a place down here, if you can look right there, where the line was not complete. It was a separated line. I added the color in there to connect it. Over here is another example, right here. It's not showing up very well on the camera, but see how that line ends there? I extended the line with my colored pencils. Okay, so a contour line is not necessarily, well, it is not a total connected line. So that's the difference between a real outline and a contoured outline. I'm so happy to see our friend back again. You sweet thing. I think we should figure out a name for this dog. And maybe we're going to have to decide if it's a boy or a girl dog. But I know it's a sweet dog. Yeah. All right, let's go on. I'm happy to see you again, sweet doggy. We're going to come back to biomorphic shapes. But here I wanted to introduce space in a picture. Space in a picture, we talk about positive and negative space. It's a part of the picture that helps define the subject or the picture. Now, we'll spend more time on this, but I want you to look at this picture. I want you to think about it for a minute. What is it about this picture? Do you like it or not? I mean, does it speak to you? Is it saying anything to you? I see a lot of positive space where we've got the different colors, and it's all geometric so far, isn't it? Look at, I've got many colors in this picture. I'm working on this picture. This is my creation, and maybe you have some ideas to help me as I take the next step. Where does your eye focus? Is there a special spot in this painting so far that you look at and think, oh, that's where my eye settles? Not for me. No, it's all over the place for me. Got positive space. Look at all this negative space. It's not pulling anything together, is it? It's not defining the subject or the picture. At this point in time, I don't even know what this picture is about. I'm going to use biomorphic occurring in nature shapes to help soften these hard angles. Look at these. They're all hard angles. There's nothing soft in this picture yet, is there? No. We're going to work on that. You know what I'm going to do? And the next time you'll see me adding something to the picture. I went out yesterday and I found a leaf in the yard. It was wet because it was raining, but I let it dry overnight. What if I added a couple of leaves to the picture? It would soften the edges. It would bring things together. I will eventually use this as a tool of art. I will paint the leaf. I'm not going to do it this lesson. I'll do it next lesson. This is just an example here of how negative and positive space can work for you, or not thinking about negative and positive space is going to mess you up. I will paint this leaf gently, and then I will place it carefully, and I will press it all down. And when I remove it, I'll have an imprint of my leaf. So that's what we're looking for. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, no! Guess what we get to do? Let me tape. Yeah, we want to hold this up here. Let's make a biomorphic shape. Now, you know, with Halloween coming up, I thought it would be sort of fun to make a ghost. And now, when you go trick-or-treating, if they have trick-or-treating in your area this year, and I hope they do, boys and girls, but as you see the different shapes, you can say, oh, there's a biomorph when you see a ghost or a witch. Let's look. A ghost. I'm going to start up here. Ghosts are easy to draw. Bring those lines down. Oh, what about a curvy bottom? Let me go over this again. I can see on the camera that it's not dark enough. Let's make it darker. See, we just can't measure mathematically the shape of a ghost, can we? All right, I'm going to have a curvy little wavy bottom. Remember our lines? that show up a little bit better? Yeah, I think so. Does a ghost have eyes? Ooh, scary little ghost. I'm not afraid of him. I know, it's just a sweet little kid in costume looking for a trick or treat. That's a ghost. Boo! He doesn't scare you, or she doesn't scare you, does she? No. All right. What about a pumpkin? Maybe this ghost is holding a pumpkin. I'll give the ghost some arms. How simple is that? And then a pumpkin is, these are biomorphic shapes, aren't they? They're not geometric shapes. You can't measure them. A pumpkin is a biomorphic shape also. Let's work on a pumpkin in this ghost's arms. Now, you've all seen pumpkins, haven't you? Let's get the top in. What do we know about pumpkins? They have a stem and it's usually a little wonky, huh? And then if we just imagine bringing that line down, imagine bringing that line down. We have something that looks like a circle, but it's definitely not a circle. Let me get that darker. All right, you see that pumpkin? You're beginning to see that pumpkin. Now, with a pumpkin up at the top, there might be a little bit of darkness before you get the stem up here. Pumpkins have some lines in them, don't they? And they sort of curve. Let's get a few lines in. Remember we talked about the line? It has a beginning and it has an end. Yeah. Get some of those lines in there. That's it. That's it. Now we have a biomorphic shape, the pumpkin. Biomorphic arms, a biomorphic body, and I think these look like biomorphic eyes. And there we have our Halloween trick-or-treat costume. How about that? What else could we think about? What if the ghost had a witch's hat on him? Would a ghost wear a witch's hat? Well, we can be silly because it's art, and art is our own creation. So I'm going to put a witch's hat on this ghost. I am. Now I'm going to start with the rim of the hat. Look at that curvy rim of the hat. Well, we know that that's a line because it has a beginning and an end. See, we're starting to bring some of the pieces, parts of the elements of art or the building blocks of art into our pictures now. Does this look like the beginning of a hat? Oh, you've seen witches' hats before. I think so. We're going to bring that in just a little bit more right here and right there. And then, what does a witch's hat look like? Almost like a triangle. but it's not a perfect triangle. Let's see, that hat has to sit on the head, doesn't it? So there we go. And look, we have a witch's hat, and then we have to come along with our eraser. Oh, I said last time I needed a better eraser. Excuse my back and my reach. Okay. I have a better eraser here. I'm going to take this out. See, when you start with a picture, always use your pencil to sketch it out first so that you can erase the lines that you don't want there. Well, this part of his head is covered up by a hat, so we're going to erase it. Yeah. And then when you do that, remember to brush off your crumbs. Now then, all I would have to do to finish this picture is write the word boo. B-O-O. With an exclamation point. Boo. And then, you know how you see some of the comics and people talking? We put it in a little word cloud, okay? For your activity, I'd like to see you have some Halloween fun. Maybe you draw a funny black cat, a witch, a ghost. What other Halloween creatures are there? Spiders, bats. They're all biomorphic. And you use everything that you've learned so far about our lines, our geometric shapes, biomorphic shapes, and also use what you know about colors so far and have fun. And think about the negative space, which would be out here, and the positive space. And think about where your eye wants to go. You are the director of your piece of art. All right, until next time, we're going to start on colors. So I hope you have your paints. Tempera paints are the easiest to use when we start mixing paints to make our own colors. But watercolor paints will work also. Remember to keep looking at the changing leaves that we have in nature. Yes, our biomorphic leaves. And remember that when we start color, you need either a gift box lid, a shoe box lid, something that could contain your colors so that they don't drip on the floor. Okay? In the meantime, stay well, please. Practice safe distancing, wearing your mask, and washing your hands because we're still having a COVID-19 problem here in Ohio. And we just want it to get better, don't we? Okay. Have a good day and enjoy your next activity.